Hello everybody, this is George with Melnick's Automotive. In this video I would like to show you how to fix P0449. It's a check engine emissions code. I'm gonna turn my ignition on just to show you what that looks like. As you can see, the code is there, and I'm not gonna go ahead and use my scan tool because that will be pointless. What actually going on here, P0449, that means charcoal canister vent valve problem, okay? And I have a scan tool. When I hook up my scan tool, it will I could automatically test it from there. I could look at freeze frame data, and this occurs right away. As soon as I reset it, it comes right back on. So I'm going to show you how to fix this once and for all. Chevy Silverado, Chevy Tahoe, GMC, Yukon, they're all based the same type of a vehicle. And it's located, once I jack up and put some light on, it's located right underneath the car, rear the cradle in the back. And I'm going to show you how to test it. So I have a brand new part, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And I'm going to show you how to test the old one before you buy a new one. Alright, so this is a brand new part, and as you can see, it's got the 2 pins connector, okay? And I'm not going to explain how the whole system works because it's a long story. But anyway, I just want to show you how to quickly and easily to fix it. So when you're going to buy this new vent solenoid, and I'm going to go underneath the truck in just a second, I'm going to show you the old one and how to test it. Alright, when I hook up my scan tool and I command the solenoid to open or close, I should hear the click. But I'm not going to use a scan tool, as you guys most likely don't have a scan tool. But you could actually test this via 12-volt battery. So when you buy a new one, you want to make sure you buy this adapter kit, because in 06, 07 they end up using different connector. So even though it's an OEM part, it's not an aftermarket, they did upgrade the connector. So don't forget to buy the connector for this part. Okay, I think the connector is like $20. Otherwise, you're gonna have to cut some wires and resolder 2 wires, and you don't want to do that. Anyways, once you jack up your car and you go underneath there, when you remove this part, and like I said, it's located next to gas tank, right in the center of the vehicle, towards back. On the Silverado, it's more kind of in the middle of the vehicle, towards the rear truck bed on the driver's side. So you want to go ahead and take an alligator clip, and I'm going to demonstrate that in a little bit. Hook up one alligator clip and second alligator clip on those 2 pins, and touch the battery terminals, and you should hear the click. If you don't hear the click, most likely you have faulty vent solenoid. And P0449, that's exactly what that means. And usually if you reset it and it comes back instantly, I'm almost 99.9% sure that's going to be your vent solenoid. If it comes back 2 days, 3 days later, that means you could have a leak. You could have a leak in any of these lines, like a vacuum leak. So you can always check your codes at AutoZone for free. They scan it, they just won't reset it for you. In my case, I have a scan tool, and then you can also pick up really inexpensive scan tool for about 40-50 bucks on eBay. If you buy one of those Bluetooth, I think they call them Elm, and you can buy it for $9.99, so you'll be able to use your cell phone to actually scan your trouble codes. So let's go underneath the car, and I'll show you where the old one located and how to take it out. Alright, so this is my setup. I'm using a jumper box. I'm not going to use a battery, but you could use a battery. And I'm using 2 alligator clips. 1 pin goes to the positive, and the second pin I'm gonna tap on the ground. Basically what I did, I put 2 pins on there, but you could go straight with your alligator clips on it. Watch what happens when I tap the ground. You're gonna hear a tap. You can clearly hear solenoid opening and closing. That's a new part. And we're going to pull out the old one. I'm going to test it also. In my case, I was 100% sure that it was the solenoid. So that's why I bought it. But in your case, before you buy it, I think it's like $70 part with wiring. Go ahead and test it, and you'll be 100% sure. All right, guys, this is I'm underneath the truck, and this is where the solenoid located. It's pretty much right above the spare tire. So be good idea to remove the spare tire, as you can see, and it only holding on that bracket. I think it's size 10 that's holding it in place. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the tire and pull this thing out, and show and test this one also. In order to lower the spare tire, we need to pop this cap open, and we're gonna have to use a key. If you don't have a key, this one's locked. They don't want nobody stealing the spare. We need to go ahead first, unlock it and remove the cap. Now we can go ahead and use our toolkit to drop it down, and I'll show you how that's done. All right, our jack and all the tools are located in this compartment. You want to grab your hand and just pull this out, and it's all right in there. So we're gonna pull it out, and all the tools, as you can see, they're right in there. We're gonna pull those out and use those to lower our spare wheel. All right, so you want to go ahead and assemble 2 of these rods and stick it right in that hole, and you will feel where you lock on it. And then you're gonna turn it counterclockwise, and as you can see, my spare is coming down. You want to take it down to a point where you could easily unhook that hook on the bottom. You don't even have to take it out, as long as you could lower it so you can get your hands in there. And that's what I might just do. I might not even take it out, but they'll give you plenty of space to work on without really overworking yourself. So we are on the ground, and I'm gonna show you the next step once I'm underneath. Okay, as you can see, once I went ahead and dropped my spare, I have plenty of room to work on. So basically, there's this white clip right here. What you want to do, you actually want to push it in and then press it and pull it off. I won't be able to videotape myself doing that, but how it works, basically push it in, press the 2 of these pins and pull it out. And then right over here, you just slide it off. Same thing, you could see this hook here. Or you could just take a size 10, and then right on top of this bracket, there's size 10 bolt. You can just unbolt it, and it's right over here where my finger is, size 10. And then you can get the whole thing off with the bracket. So I'm gonna pull this out in a minute. Alright guys, as you can see, I went ahead and unplugged my harness here. And this is the new adapter harness that GM provides you, because the connector will be a little bit different at the other side. It will be like this. And so all we have to do is just take this side of the harness, and I'm going to do it one hand. In one hand I'm holding camera, and just plug it in. Just plug it in, and then now we're good to go. We don't have to solder anything. Alright, and back to this side. Like I was saying, it's pretty easy. You just push it in, press these 2 tabs and pull it out, and then the bracket on top, all you do is just kind of wiggle it, and that comes right off. Then you have to disconnect another clip right here at the charcoal canister, and that's also same type of style. You press it in and slide it right off. So I already did that. I'm gonna pull this thing out and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I went ahead and pulled out the old solenoid, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my pins on to do a test. As you heard me doing a test on the other one, and you heard it click, and I tested this with a scan tool, so I know for sure this thing does not work. But before you go ahead and buy a new one, as long as you could read the code, or somebody could read it for you, you could take it off and do this little test. Alright, so I have my leads already all hooked up. I got my power here, and I'm gonna tap the ground, and let's see if we have anything with the solenoid. There you go. You can see I'm tapping. It's dead silent. So this will definitely take care of my P0449. And as I said, as long as you can get somebody to read the code for you, in AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, I think Pep Boys, well, they will scan it for you, but they will not reset the code. So once we replace this part, if you don't have a scan tool, just disconnect your battery terminal for about 5 to 10 minutes and reconnect it, and the check engine light should be off, and you're good to go. So we're going to reinstall the other part in just a second, and I'll show you when it's all up and installed. Alright guys, so I went ahead and installed the new vent solenoid, and they gave me new brackets, so I had to use new bracket because the old bracket you have to unbolt it. It was pretty rusty. It took me a couple minutes to take it out, and this is just a vent, so I'm gonna slide this thing up, and just as you can see these tie wraps here, what you're supposed to do, just kind of tie wrap it together here. That's just the vent, and it goes up. This piece goes all the way up, and then also you got to tie wrap it following my other hoses. Let me grab a light, show you. Okay. Basically what I have to do, and there's a mark right here. This is for my old tie wrap. So what I need to do, I got to tie wrap it together here and kind of go up to the filler neck, and that's it. So right now I'm pretty much done here, and I'm not gonna show all the steps how to put the spare back on. Just I guess waste of time, but you got your new wiring harness. You don't have to solder anything here. We got a new vent solenoid. We plugged it in. This hose goes to charcoal canister. We already have that all plugged in, and it just plug and play, nothing special. And now I'm gonna go ahead and clear the code and restart the truck, and I'll show you the check engine will not come back right away. Alright guys, so we went ahead and replaced that vent solenoid. I went ahead and cleared the trouble code with a scan tool, and previously as soon as I turn ignition on, the check engine light would come on instantly and stay on. You could do the same thing by clearing the code by disconnecting a positive or negative battery cable for about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and show you that I don't have that issue anymore. All my lights come on. As you can see, check engine light went off, one of the first lights, and there's no more lights. And then everything else, I'm not gonna videotape all the steps how to put the spare back on. It's common sense. But that's how you fix a P0449 on a 2007 through 2000 believe 16 Chevy Tahoe, Silverado, Yukon, even Cadillac Escalade. It's pretty much identical setup. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please shoot me an email. Once again, thanks for watching. This was George with Melnick's Automotive.